We begin with the latest on the massacre at the Washington Navy Yard. The flags at the White House and the U.S. Capitol have been lowered to half-staff in honor of those who died in the shootings this morning. At least one gunman opened fire at the headquarters of Naval Sea Systems Command. When the shooting was over, at least 13 people were dead, including that alleged gunman, identified tonight as Aaron Alexis, a 34-year-old naval reservist and naval contractor. More than a dozen others were wounded, including a Washington, D.C. police officer. The motive for the shooting is not known. Chip Reid is at the Washington Navy Yard for us this evening. Chip?
Well, good evening, Scott. This street was a very different scene earlier today. It was a scene of utter chaos. Hundreds of police, federal agents, and emergency medical responders were here after reports of a mass shooting. When they arrived, people were running for their lives, including a Navy employee named Todd Brundage, who turned and saw the gunman as he was running from the building.
It was maybe 2 or 3 seconds. We got to look at the guy, and as we're going out the door, he turned and he started shooting, and then we immediately made a left to go down the stairs to get out of the building.
Now, the horror for Brundage was not over at that point. He said he went out into an alley where he thought he could seek cover. He talked briefly with another man who he did not know. He heard 2 gunshots. He looked up to where they came from, looked back, and the man he had just met was on the ground with a bullet to the head. Many of the victims of this shooting were shot inside the building in a first-floor atrium. They were fired upon by the shooter from a 3rd or 4th floor overlook above the atrium. The employees tell us that it is easy to get weapons in there if you have the appropriate ID. They simply do not check for them. You can simply drive right in. And Scott, the mayor of the District of Columbia, Vincent Gray, tells us that there is still the possibility there is a second shooter still out there, somebody who was caught on videotape. They may just want that person for questioning, but they haven't ruled out the possibility that he is a second shooter. As you can imagine, in this area, people are on edge. They've been told to stay in their homes with the doors locked.
The building, Chip, that the shooting occurred in has about 3,000 people in it on any given day, essentially a large Navy office building. What's going on there this evening?
Well, it looks quiet from the outside, Scott, but we are told that there are still employees in there, people who witnessed what happened, who are still being questioned, and at least for those people, it is still locked down.
Chip Reid, thanks very much.